Welcome back, Smile Jammers. She's the newly appointed Honorary French Consul to Jamaica. We head to the beautiful Negril to find out more about Mrs. Sophie Grizzle Roumel. Hey, Sophie, welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Hi, good morning, Delia. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. All right, so for those who are not so clear on what Honorary Consul means, please explain for me just what does the title mean and how do you function in that role here in Jamaica?
Well, basically what happened is the French embassy reduced the amount of administrative work that they do in Jamaica, and most of the administrative work now is done in Panama with the general consul who is in charge of the Caribbean region. So I have very limited administrative powers where I can assist any French national who runs into any kind of difficulties while they're here in Jamaica. And the role really started when I used to live in Mandeville. I used to be what they call the chef de l'eau, which means that I was in charge of the three parishes of Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth. So if anything happened in that region, then I would come and assist as best as I can. And then when I moved back to Negril, my mother was a chef de l'eau here in Negril for many years too, and I became her assistant. And then as she got older, I took over. So this is really a culmination of what I've been doing for many years already.
Yeah, it makes sense. Negril is quite a ways from Kingston, and if someone, which is where the embassy is based, and if someone had an issue, you know, it makes sense that they're able to reach out to someone in proximity and have that addressed. And Negril, of course, is where our visitors gather. But tell me a little bit about yourself and your mom and how this whole relationship started with the French.
Okay, well, my parents met in England. My mom came over from France as an au pair, and my dad went to England in the early 60s, and they met. And my dad wanted to do agriculture. He wanted to go to Africa to do agriculture. And my grandfather got sick. We came to Jamaica to visit him. And my mom said, well, why are we going to Africa? Jamaica's so beautiful. Let's come to Jamaica. So we started with a small farm in Green Island. And my mom was a great cook. And Mr. Ben Clare was the ambassador for Jamaica at that time, who lived right next door to us, and he was a gourmand, and he kept pushing them to open a restaurant. And so we opened a small restaurant and grew from there, basically.
Wow, beautiful love story.
Yes,
Sophie.
it is.
Yes, that's something that needs to be told. I'm listening and I'm very intrigued. And so, of course, because of her background, that's how the relationship started. So for you, I know it's about family as well, but you know, there are many families who don't continue along the vein or the legacy of the people before them. What interests you so much about, for want of a better word, diplomatic work and being in a position such as this?
I think because I've done it all along, and you know, my parents both raised me to give back to the community, that it was very important to help where you can. And we also have a fairly we have quite a few French people that live in Negril. So I don't know, you just end up doing it. I mean, I remember going to the embassy in the early 70s, and so we always used to go for the Bastille Day, and we've always had a very close relationship with the embassy over the years.
Yeah. You raise an interesting point, because yes, we do have a lot of French nationals living in Jamaica, not just visiting, living in Jamaica. What do you think is so appealing to them? Visiting, I understand, but to live here, what's so appealing?
Well, you know, I think there's a love story between France and Jamaica. There always has been. I mean, I think probably reggae is the most popular music in France.
Yes.
And the Jamaicans, many Jamaicans speak very good French. So I think there's a love story on both sides. And the French have been present in Jamaica for many, many years. We also have a lot of government contracts go to French companies as well. So there's a very close relationship between the countries. And Jamaicans love good food as well.
Listen.
So,
Listen, we love good food and we love French. And I feel like, in the grill, other parts of Jamaica as well, you get such a kind of cosmopolitan sense of the world because if there's French food, but it's authentic French food. Like if you eat in French, it's French.
Yes, but we also do a blend because, my father is much of a gourmand too. And so we do a fusion of French Jamaican cuisine. So we do a lot of we do something like a cheese and callaloo souffle, which is very popular. So we blend the Jamaican dishes with the French influence as well. So if you come, you'll find pure French. You'll find pure Jamaican, because we have our own farm, so we do things like curry goat and that sort of thing. But then you have that fusion of the two cultures together.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing about food and why it's such an important part of culture, because it really reflects the spirit of a people and just the ingenuity of people. I'm always excited about food when I talk about cultures. What are some of the other things? I mean, you spoke about Bastille Day. Do you find that, people in the grill, French people, Jamaicans, because we like to embrace cultures as well, continue to celebrate the French in different ways and acknowledge different types of events and days and commemorative activities?
We do, yes, we
Okay.
do. And we have a very close tie. I mean, I still have a very large family in France. So I've always got cousins visiting and coming to stay with us. And a lot of our clientele are European as well as from the US and Canada. So there's a very good mixture of nationalities that stay with us, but also, the local population, they love coming for those special occasions. Many people in Nickel have told me that they propose to their wives at our restaurant.
Aww.
So, it's a special place to come, and croissants on a Sunday morning, very, very popular.
Hey. Sophie, you said it. You said the name the way it's supposed to be said. I'm excited. It sounds like we'll take a trip to the grill just to come have the food at your restaurant.
We'll be delighted to see you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I know when it comes to positions such as these, they basically have an outline of how it operates and things that you do. But for you, is there anything that you feel that you will bring that's different to the table? What are you excited about that you feel will change for you?
Well, I think it's a communicative of all the work that I've done over the years, and I think it's a great honor. And my family in France are over the moon, and I think it's a continual of the relationship between Jamaica and France, and we can strengthen it more and more. And I think it's a very important relationship.
It is a very important relationship. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, Mrs. Sophie Grizzle Roumel, Honorary French Consul to Jamaica. Not feeling your best self? Well, up next, we're going to take a quick look at how to make yourself feel so much better. We'll soon come.